Hi everyone, some Gamer Dude here. So today we are with the last of these Magic the Gathering videos. This week it's all decks I made myself, and two of them monocolored. I honestly didn't get to play this one in black very much, but what I have played of it I enjoyed it. I know it needs a lot of tweaks, but never really got the time because I made it during lockdown, so I haven't gotten to play it very much. The ones in white and blue are honestly two of my favourite decks to play. So there's that. So they're probably my two stronger decks anyway. This one can just snowball. It's a very standard build for what it is. And I think this one's just a lot of fun. It's annoying to fight, I know that. But it's got that cool race against time thing these type of decks have. And if you've seen other videos of mine, you'll probably know what deck I've got in dark blue. So let's just start with this white one, which is Mono White Life Gain. It probably needs updating because I know there's a bunch of new Life Gain cards now, but I think last time I updated it was the what was War set? The third Return to Ravnica set. Anyway, I've got 4 copies of Healer Hawk. It's a cool card. It's got lifelink and flying, so it's pretty much always going to give him 1 life. 4 copies of Land and Guard. I think you can tell where this is going. Yep, it's an Ajani's Pridemate deck. 4 copies of Ajani's Pridemate. I've really got to get the new artwork for Ajani's Pridemate. I actually have a picture of this on my computer. I'll see if I can find it and I'll put it up. But I was scoring around in Arena back when I played that, and I got up like nearly 200 life, I think it was, and this over 100, and I just thought it was funny to just screw with the computer and do it. Mentor of the Meek. This is actually a really good card. Whenever you summon a small creature, which, hey, most of mine are, pay 1 and draw a card. Got 3 of those. Land and War Leader. I don't really think this is that great of a card, but it can produce white creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. Sets off Ajani's Pridemate a few times. Gains your life. Got 3 of those. It's not even really on curve as much as I'd like. I'd rather have a 3-drop, honestly. So I might change that out later. Moment of Triumph. It's a +2/+2 plus gain 2 life for 1, which I think is pretty good. 3 of those. Battlefield Promotion. I really like this one. So it gains +1/+1 counter, so that fits in with the deck. It's a permanent plus. On top of that, it gains First Strike, which means it's harder to kill, and you gain 2 life. So if it's Ajani's Pridemate, it's going to get another one. So I've got 4 copies of those. That is a really good card. I really like that one. Immolating Glare. Destroy target attacking creature. I think that's pretty good for 1 and a white. It's instant. Or is it uncommon? I thought that'd be more expensive than that. Ajani's Welcome. I don't think that's been reprinted since then. Whenever a creature comes into the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. You get a few of them. Hey, Ajani's Pridemate just keeps on triggering. So that's pretty good. Dawn of Hope. This one's actually much harder to use than Mentor of the Meek. It's harder to get rid of, but because you have to pay 2. And it does trigger whenever you gain life, which we're doing a lot anyway. It's a bit of some, bit of the other. This is GRN, so, wow. I must have updated this a bit more recently than I thought I did. GRN, what set is that? Well, it's 2018 anyway. No, that's before this set. So I got 2 Ajani Strength of the Pride. It came down under $10 for a little bit. I don't know how much it is now. So I thought I should just grab a couple while they were cheap enough. I can make Ajani's Pridemate tokens, which is pretty cool. And then just like 23 planes. I really like this deck. I think it's a lot of fun to play. It's yeah, it's a mono deck, and it's white, which is allegedly the worst color. But I like it. It's actually one of the few decks I genuinely enjoy playing every time I play it, and the focus is going. Hope that didn't go through the whole thing. Yeah, I really enjoy that one. I think it's a lot of fun. So, I think this deck I bought parts for last time I bought updates, which was... Actually, I can tell you the last time I bought cards. M21. When M21 came out, I bought cards. So, again, if you've seen all our videos, you know what this is. This is Mill deck. So, I think this is before Mill became a keyword too. So, Merfolk Secret Keeper, it's a defensive card, and it's a spell that mills you. Target player 4, you want to mill your opponent. You could actually mill yourself and win via that with this deck, but I don't really want to. I'd rather win milling the opponent. Overwhelmed Apprentice. Mills 2, Scries 2. So 1-2 for 1. I think that's pretty good. It's probably better things now, but I think the Scry is actually worth it. Wall of Lost Thoughts. Mills a player 4, and it's a 0-4 for 2. I think that's actually pretty good. Comes out the same as Merfolk Secret Keeper, honestly. Sweet Oblivion, I actually really like this card. I think I got the Jumpstart the Draws cards in my in a box in case I need it. But for 2, target player puts the top 4 cards of their deck into their graveyard, so mill your opponent 4 for 2. And then Escape, which means you cast it from your discard by exiling, paying the cost, which is exiling 4 of the cards, which is fairly easy to do, and paying 4. So you don't take a card out of your hand. The cost for getting it back is about right at 2. So I think it's a pretty good card. I only run 2 because I think I only need to. Unsummon, and I got an older art because that's what I like. I like the old frame. I think it's got a lot of character. I get it where I can. Unsummon, return target creature to its owner's hand. Negate, counter target non-creature spell, can have its uses. I only run 3 of those. Didn't say please, I think this is a really cool card. Target counter spell, its controller puts the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard, so mills them 3 after you counter their spell. And I don't think 3 is that bad of a cost for getting all of that. So I've got a place of those. Engulf the Shore, this is a card I really love in mono blue. I really need more copies of it. I think they should reprint it a bit more frequently. Return to their owner's hands all creatures with toughness less than or equal to the number of islands you control. I only run islands. So, at minimum, it's everything 4 and below. It just keeps growing. And it just sweeps the board. And because I actually want my creatures to come back, because they mostly have enter abilities, or I can cast them as spells, or whatever, it helps me. I really like it. I originally bought it for energy back when I was running blue-green in that deck instead of blue-red. But I really liked it. I kept a hold of it, and it came out really good here. Sphinx's Tutelage. I remember this actually setting me back a little bit. It's either this card or another one. Anyway. Pretty sure I had one that wasn't Origins. It might be the different printing down the bottom is different version, because they're clearly very different. One's more brighter than the others. Anyway, I used to have this one that whenever you draw a card, whenever you draw a card, your opponent mills 2. This one does that, but if they're both non-land cards that show a color, you keep doing it, and you can pay 6 to draw a card, then discard a card if you really need it, which I don't think I've ever needed it. But get 4 out whenever you draw a card, your opponent mills. And it just keeps adding up. And it just keeps adding up because of Fraying Sanity as well. You curse your opponent, and then at the end of each end step, your opponent puts the top X cards of their library into their graveyard, where X is the number of cards put into that graveyard from anywhere. So if they cast spells, if they cast instants, if their creatures go there for whatever reason, if they mill themselves, if you mill them, end of turn, all of those add up, and you get to do it again. And it doesn't have, what's it called? Legendary, so you can put a couple on there and just go to town on them. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. I actually think this is, I use this probably a bit differently to the way it's intended. So it's a 4 loyalty, 4 planeswalker. If you have if you draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. Yeah, I've got a friend that made the deck around that, and I could honestly do that to myself, but I don't want to. mostly because of its +1. Target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Draw a card. So it sets off Sphinx's tutelage. You mill your opponent 2. So it sets off Fraying Sanity. And you just draw a card. You don't take anything from it. It doesn't say your opponent draws a card. It doesn't say the player that milled the 2 draws the card. Also, it has -8, draws 7 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game, which is fine, I guess. Never pulled it off. Don't really care. I would rather just go for that mill 2, draw 1, mill 2, draw 1. And I've got 3 copies of those. I think I got them when they were pretty cheap. I don't know how much they are now. And then I think it's like 23 islands. So, yeah. You can probably figure out the exact amount of islands I've got. So I really, really love that deck. I've got to see if there's anything I can add to it. Especially now it's going to be easy to search things because, hey, mill is a keyword now. I don't know what I would put in there, if there's anything I really need. But I'm curious to check out. And finally, well, this was the last one I built. It's very little testing, so I don't know what I need to add to it. It did reasonably well from what I played. And that would be black-white vampires. It's a life gain deck. It's basically the black-white version of my mono-white deck. I don't think it's anywhere near as good, but runs on the same idea. So Vampire of the Full Moon, I really like this card. Black 1/1 with Death Touch and Lifelink. So it's a good blocker. It's a good attacker because it's a threat. You're just going to keep gaining life off it. Got 4 copies of those. Dusk Legion Zealot. This is another good card I really like. Oh, I've got 4 more copies of this because I really wanted to add to a vampire deck. When it enters the field, you lose 1 life and draw a card. It's a 2/2. It's a 2-cost 1/1. I think that's fine just to draw the card. Recycles itself. I think that's good. Legion Lieutenant. I don't really think this is all that necessary. Other vampires you control gain +1/+1. It's a 2/2 for 2. It's fine, but I think there's probably better things to run in here. Gifted Aetherborn. I had a rogue themed deck for a while. No, I didn't. Oh, this was in something. I had it in some black deck at some point. Was it black? I don't remember, but I really like it anyway. It's a double black, 2/3 with Death Touch and Lifelink. I think that's pretty darn nifty. It's a good defensive blocker. It's a good attacker. I like it. So there's that. 4 copies of that. I think they're not exactly cheap anymore either. Bloodthirsty Aerialist, who's actually upside down. She's meant to be looked at like that. I already know the pain of this type of art myself. So it's a flying, and when you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on her. She's 2 black and 1 for a 2/3. She's basically a Johnny's Pride made in black. Yeah, I actually kind of want to see it in green, because green has a bit of life gain. Just saying. I've got 4 copies of that. Veto Thorn of the Duskgrowers. I specifically waited on this one getting a little bit cheaper. Whenever you gain life, your opponent loses that much life. I really just want to make a deck focused around this card instead. I've got 3 copies of it, but I just want to go harder on the life gain and just make it full-blown life gain. Your opponent loses that much, just go for that instead of what it is. I think that's more entertaining, just the drain mechanic. I like it. 4 copies of Indulging Patrician. I really love the art on this one. I would have liked a mat on it. I think it's some of the only good Magic art in recent years. I don't think Magic typically has. It's well constructed art, but it's not appealing art. I think this is appealing art. Lifelink, flying, 1/4 for black, white, 1. And at the beginning of your end step, if you have gained 3 or more life this turn, your opponent loses 3 life. I really think there's a black-white deck. I could refine this into something less aggressive, more passive, and just go with that. I think I'd honestly prefer it too. I've got 4 copies of that. Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord, because I wanted a Sorin card and something. I like his design. He's a vampire. He suits it. 2 black-white. As long as it's your turn, your creatures and planeswalkers have lifelink +2. Sorin deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. You gain 1 life off that. If because he's dealing the damage, you gain the life. And minus X, this is actually why I used him. Return target creature with a converted mana cost of X from your graveyard to the battlefield, becomes a vampire. Don't really care about that. I just want to reuse things like Dust Legion Zealot and bring back cards like Veto and Indulging Patrician. I think that's a really good card myself. Vampire Zeal, it gives vampires first strike and +2/+2. Okay, just a second. Just get that out of the way. Because the other one in white, where is it? Oh yeah, it was a 2 cost. So yeah, it's still worth going mono vampires. I just wonder if we can make it more life gainy. So I'll actually look up that. Let's see where I can go with that. So Zeal, I think is pretty good. Moment of Craving, it gains you 2 life and hits something -2/2. I think that's pretty good. Evolving Wilds, as I said, it uses for the effect to grab them out of the deck, so you don't use tap lands. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. So this is a 22 lane deck. Okay. So I really like that deck. I want to go back to it now and revise it to be just pure passive. Sit there, gain life, you lose life. Gain life, you lose life. Gain life, you lose life. Honestly, Indulging Patrician, yeah, I really think there's a really cool deck around Indulging Patrician and Veto. I don't know if the Death Touch lifelink is particularly needed, but we'll see where we go with it. I quite like it. There's that. Anyway, that's all the Magic decks I have. As I said, I do have broken down red-blue energy deck. It never worked out particularly well because it's so passive. It revolves around an artifact that you pay energy to it and it pings something for 3, but I never felt like it gained enough energy to do it. Not consistently enough. I think I needed other things to... I think I got some cards that when they had instants and sorceries in the graveyard, I got power based on that, and I thought they were pretty cool. I think I would have preferred to just go a little bit away from the energy as the main focus and go more into that Izzet, I think? Izzet's red-blue instant spam, isn't it? Yeah. That's it. I only remember that one and Golgari, to be honest. I actually am keen on making a... It's the mushroom token things for Golgari, isn't it? I think so. Anyway, maybe getting into Magic again might be the best. I do enjoy it enough. There are things that I miss from other games. Again, I miss the what's it called? The Avatar cards. But hey, Commander exists for that, I guess. Not really keen on Singleton, so... Although, I guess if I did that, I've got Drana. Actually, I think I have her in here. Because I've got a pile of cards. These were the pile of cards I bought with things last time for future-proofing. So, I've got a set of Dust Legion Zealots. Drana, again, just one of the... I think I got the original printing. I like the art on her. If I ever did, Commander should probably be the one I chose. I don't know where I'd go with it, but I like it. I've got old copies of Llanowar Elves. I like the old frame, so I get it where I can. I know get the white ones, but shouldn't get the white ones, but no real choice. 2 copies of Sweet Oblivion, in case I wanted a playset. Chemist is up inside. I thought this was actually a really good card. Probably got Commander 20 versions. Draw 2 cards for 4, jumpstart, so you can discard a card to exile it and cast it again. the same cost. So you turn another card into Chemist's Insight, so you get another copy. Jace's Triumph I had in here because of that Jace Planeswalker run. So it's draw 3 cards if you control Jace. Psychic Corrosion, that was a card I pulled out. It's good for multiplayer, but I don't play multiplayer much, so I don't really care. So there's that. Anyway, that's all for today's video, I think. Any comments down below? I'll get to them when I get around to it, and hopefully by the time this video goes up, I'll get around to all the comments you've left. Again, I am sorry I am burned out on things. I just need a break. I really do. I took a break when I put up those Final Fantasy videos that I've had around for a while, but it just wasn't enough for me to recharge, and I was working on other stuff at the time, so it wasn't really a break. It was just moving the channel out of the way for a week. Anyway, this has been Some Gamer Dude, and thanks for watching.